and welcome to 3Q the Artist. I'm your host, Rachel Vogel, and joining me for tonight's episode is Colin Walsh, a member of the band Grayscale. So, Colin, welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Doing well, Rachel. How are you? Thanks so much for having me.
I'm doing pretty well. I'm excited to hear your answers to these questions. So, are you ready for the first
Mhm.
one?
I am. Yeah, shoot.
Let's do it. I've heard many artists say, I am my music and my music is me. So, what does that statement mean to you?
I am my music and my music is me. Well, I think to me, I really try, like, as someone who handles the lyrics to Grayscale's music, I really, really try to emphasize, like, my life experiences and stories throughout Grayscale's music. And I think this record specifically, the heart that our band has put out, is really, really focused on kind of like who we are and where we grew up and why we're the way we are. And um, I think it's the most reflective of the people we are, the artists we are, and all of those kinds of things. So I think I I think the heart as an album is the most reflective of all of that, of all the things we've been through together, as individuals, as artists together, and all the things we've endured, like as friends. We've been friends for like 15 years since we were kids. So um, I would say that sentiment for this era of our band is like really, really strong now more than ever.
Yeah, can you share a little bit about how you guys kind of like became a band? If you guys were friends from such a young age, did you all just one day be like, I want to start a band? Or was it always something that you kind of saw yourself doing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's actually like I like in some ways don't even remember like when it was officially declared. I think
Just happened.
we always were just like going to shows around like the Philadelphia area, and like um we kind of knew each other through friends. We actually are all from the same area, but went to different high schools, oddly. And we all kind of met. Like, I think Dal and I might have been eighth grade or ninth grade, and Nick was a year older. And we all kind of met just like through friends and meeting people at shows, and like looking for drummers, looking for guitarists, whatever. And we kind of like met, and then we just like hung out and we played music together. But it was never like I mean, it was never like a serious thing per se. It was something we loved doing and did a lot, but it wasn't like a full-time career thing. Like we were like 15, 14 years old, obviously at the time. But yeah, then it just snowballed, and we were like best friends that just we like went off to college and came, and like kind of in the right when we kind of went to college, like some of us different years than others, like it just kind of happened to become a full-time thing, and off it went, and been doing it since. So we've been doing it for literally like 15 years at this point, and it's I'm very blessed to be with people that I love, and we were friends first before we were friends with a mutual interest before we were, in a band full time together.
I love that. Yeah. And weirdly enough, that's like kind of rare these days. I feel
I
like you don't
know.
come across that
Yeah,
as much.
I
What's
know
the
for
writing
sure.
process like from a band perspective for those listening that might be curious? Like, is it usually a collaborative effort or is there usually like one person that kind of leads the charge?
Yeah, it's collaborative for Grayscale for sure. I think sometimes it can be like Nikki will come in with like a drum loop, or Andrew will have a guitar lead, or Dallas will have a piano part, or like chord progression, and then or I'll have lyrics and a little bit of like a melody voice memo, or Dal will send me a voice memo of like an acoustic, whatever, like a little acoustic part, and then we'll kind of go from there. And it's just kind of like just putting a puzzle together that's moving. It's songwriting. I mean, it's like sometimes it's super easy, and sometimes it's horrifically difficult, and that's the love of the game. But that's the craft of it. But we love it, and love doing it with each other. And I wouldn't say we have one like assembly line, like one thing that starts every single time. But I just think it's like somebody brings an idea, and then from there it's collaborative, all the way through.
All right, next question. Every industry has its hidden truths, both good and bad. So, what's one secret about the music industry that some people might not know?
Well, I think people may know this, but I think like the music industry is so tight knit. Like it's not that big. It's very much, I feel, um, it's like high school. Like everybody kind of knows each other, um, and that may be a sentiment that is like understood, among and across a lot of people. But I think as you're kind of involved in it more and more, you're continually sort of reminded at like everybody knows each other. And I think that's like, it's it's sometimes it can be very professional, it can be very petty. It is high school in many ways, and that's just
It
like
is.
yeah. I mean, like I feel most industries probably are that way, like in some regard, but I think that's definitely how small it is something that I think people don't realize, depending on the genre. But I think in like alternative rock music, it's very, very, very tight knit.
Next question. As you look ahead to the later years of your life, imagine you're being interviewed about your career and your personal journey. What would you hope to be able to say about each?
I already can kind of say like I'm so thankful and appreciative and like blessed to have been able to do so many things in my music career with my best friends that I grew up with. Like I think in many ways I've kind of done almost everything I've wanted and set out to do. And like we're going, I think by the time this airs, I'll probably be literally on a plane or arriving shortly in Australia, which is the first time we've ever been there personally or as a band. And we're really looking forward to that. And then we come back home. We have 2 days. No, we have like one day off, and we start a 7 week tour with Mayday Parade in the U.S., which we're excited about. But I think like I don't know. I'm pretty like I think we're all very proud of and like appreciative of so much that we've done already in our musical career endeavors. And I think as a person, like I think acknowledging that change and growth and those things that like they always will happen. I feel like when you're a teenager, you get to your 20s and you expect things to be so much easier and you don't understand the world so much more, and then you realize, oh my God, I didn't know anything when I was a teenager. And then you're in your 20s, and then you're in your late 20s and you're like, man, I didn't know anything when I was 22. And then that just keeps going and it kind of never ends. It's kind of like you're always learning. And I think I've kind of hit this space now in my life where I'm like I don't fight it as much as a person. Like I think I've accepted the journey and like I'm learning more about myself and trying to continually refine myself as a person, as an artist, um, as time goes on. And I think I can look back and know that I like applied myself and let that happen um, on a personal level and just kind of accepted things like just growth, just like the growth and the work that it takes and how difficult it can be sometimes as a person growing and moving in the direction that you want to. And sometimes that takes a long time. Sometimes you really have to like do it in like a way to push yourself forward. In some ways, you got to let things in life come to you. But I think that that applies to so many things, you know. And yeah, I would say that's probably how I would look back on things. And like I already kind of do, and I'm sure, you know, I'm gonna look back in 8 years and be like, I didn't know what the hell I was talking about when I did that interview with Rachel on Friday, March 21st. But
Yeah, no, I think that's a really great perspective. Thinking about like your younger self, is there like a particular moment, whether it's music related or just like personal related, where you're like, I wish I could just go grab him and tell him this one thing from your future self?
I think like I really like the way like our band has never really cared. I think one thing we've done is we've done well is always putting the art first. And it sounds so like cliche to say, but like we've really not let anyone or anything influence us like outside of the like exactly how we've wanted our band to sound and our band to evolve, um, and what we've done with it. And I think like that's something that I am happy with the way we did. And I think, you know, looking back, like if I could, you know, go and tell that younger person like this is you're gonna do it the way you wanted to do it, and you're gonna be like unapologetic about like the art coming first and the things that you prioritize, and like that's like do like stick with that, like you know, be bold and stick with that. And I think that was the right thing, and I'm proud of the way we've done that. And then I think as a person, like not be so hard on yourself, be present. A lot of the work, you know, as a person is like a lot of the growth that you want and things comes from like the work that you're, you know, the challenges and the work that you're avoiding. Like I think it takes a long time. Like if you really want to continue to grow as a person, whatever your goals are, like it oftentimes is just takes like hard work and pain, honestly, and just like applying yourself in a way that sometimes is uncomfortable. And if you have whether it's a physical goal or it's a you know cerebral goal, or you want to read a certain amount of books, or you want to get closer with your spiritual side or whatever, like I think, you know, I think it's just like be willing to put in the work and really apply yourself. That would be my advice. And I think reading. I think like every time in my life where I'm really diligent about reading and journaling, I feel better mentally. I feel like I'm growing as a person more. I feel like I'm just learning and like that elasticity of like your brain being open to things. I think I would continue to push myself, like keep reading, keep journaling, all that kind of stuff.
Totally. You got any book recommendations before we close it out?
I actually watched the Joan Didion Netflix documentary like the other night, and I thought it was amazing, and it inspired me to go back and read some of her work. She has a I think it's like I forget the titles of them. I'm gonna mess it up, but I think one's like it's like the last two she wrote before she passed, and one of them was like forget the name of the book. It's like the magic of thinking something, some kind of magical thinking. I can't remember. I'm gonna look it up after this and be like, damn it, I knew it. It's this period of her life where her husband passes away and she's analyzing grief like while living in it and documenting it. And it's like the year of magical thinking or something. And it's this acknowledgement of this like really interesting space of like when you're in the middle of living through grief. Um, it's just like learning about this in this documentary I thought was really fascinating. And yeah, that's one that I'm gonna dig into soon. That's my
Sweet.
recommendation. I mean, I haven't read a lot of her work yet, but I was really inspired by it, and I think that's if you want to follow me on what I'm gonna be reading, that's probably what it will be for a while.
That's really cool. Well, before we close it out, you kind of touched on the tour dates, but anything coming up exciting you want to shout out?
I would just say our record, The Heart, is out, and yeah, go grab a copy. We have vinyl and like Spotify, whatever. Go stream it, go share
All
with a
the
friend,
things,
and
all the
come. Yeah,
things.
all the things. So come see us on tour. We're gonna be in Australia with Slowly Slowly. We have a couple headline dates. Then we have a tour with Mayday Parade in the U.S. Then we got a full year, a lot more coming. But yeah, go listen to our new record and stream it and show a friend and come hang and come to a show.
Well, very exciting stuff. Colin, thanks again for joining me. Been a pleasure to have you on the podcast.
Cool. Likewise. Thank you, Rachel.